Let's do this. We're going to start here in a moment. Here. Alrighty. And let's get rolling. Looks like we're ready. Okay. Wait, what is that? Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's fine. All right. So we're gonna look at something a little bit different today. A recent guest of the podcast, Luca, brought this to my attention, and the funny thing is I had already registered it for it, so I clearly knew about it, but I just forgot about it, and it's been really fun. I've been doing it the last couple days. So we have here a tactical puzzle, but we don't know the position we're solving from. So what we know is that it's going to go rook takes c1, so we're grabbing the queen. Then they're going to respond by taking our queen. Then we're going to play knight d7, and they're going to nab our pawn. So what's the move? Is the move checkmate? Let's see. Okay. Rook comes back to c1. The bishop takes our queen. We go to d7. They play rook takes a2. Yeah, so it looks like we can go rook from c1 to c8. They have to block with the bishop, but because our knight is on d7, we are covering the f8 square, so we will win from there. So that means our rook that's on c1, we're moving up here, check, correct move. They move the bishop back to d8, and we come in, take, and mate. Wait, what? Why didn't that work? Oh, they're taking on, sorry, they went to d8, which is the worst move, because then it's just straight up mate. Would have been more interesting if they'd gone to f8. Well, that's it. We got it. Next puzzle. Okay. Oh, and it looks like we can decide how many plies back we can go, which is very interesting. So maybe if we do really well, we'll go back farther. What I'm liking about these puzzles is they're not super hard puzzles. They're kind of like Puzzle Rush puzzles, but you have to visualize them to get to the puzzle rush. So it's not a hard puzzle, but you have to practice visualization to get to the pattern. So I'm liking that quite a bit. Okay, so let's see. Rook d6. Okay. Bishop e5. Forking our queen and rook. That's terrifying. Rook moves over to e6, which looks bad, except we are threatening mate. So they take our rook to stop the mate threat. And then now what? I've lost the position. So it's rook up, bishop, rook to e6. They take. What? I was just talking about how easy they are. Oh, okay. We do have the rook behind the queen. Our bishop is in the way also. Rook there. I'm really trying to put it in my head. So rook there, bishop there, rook there, pawn there. So it's really just that and that have changed. Okay. So we can go bishop takes e6, check. If they move the king into the corner, queen f8 will lead to mate because the rook is backing it up. And if they take, then it's just queen f8 mate immediately. Okay. So we play here with the check. They're moving the king to h8, and we're coming back. And then we're doing the back row mate. So there you go. This is the blind tactics. It's on leestudy.org in case you can't see the tab. Okay, let's continue. Although those are too small. It's way too small, and I should have made it much bigger. We'll decide that for next time. This will be an experimental stream. All right. Bishop e6. Okay. Bishop takes g7. So they're taking our bishop. We are taking back. And then they're taking on g6 with their pawn. Which is allowing a lot of stuff. Right now, suddenly their queen can come on in h6, so it's kind of scary. So what do we have as a result? What is bishop e6 doing? Bishop e6 is threatening mate. And so I think the move is going to be, I'm going to calculate this more, but I think it's going to be knight d2 check and then queen a2 mate. But let me look at it one more time. So the bishop does indeed move to e6. Bishop takes, king takes, pawn takes, knight there. What if they take with the queen? And then I go check with the queen. They move to c1. Oh, it's still mate though, then on a1. Yes, so this works. So we're going here, check. Okay, they went queen takes d2. So then I will take with the queen. They move the king over, and then I'm mating there. Okay. Lee Study, love to see it. Oh, nice. Fried Foxy is aware of this. And yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I think we're going to move it back apply. Let's just keep going back until it's too far. Okay, so now it's black to win. And white is going to play c3. Okay, a reasonable move. We play c takes d4. Okay. So c3. We take. They take our knight with the pawn. It feels like checkmate. Wait, why is that not checkmate? So c3, c takes, f takes. Why is queen e3 not immediately checkmate? It is. Okay, so we just miss it. Okay, so we play knight c6 instead. Then they play c takes d4. Okay. Now we could play queen takes d4, but they would escape to e2. I guess I'm having a hard time seeing this clearly. Let me try it again. c3, c takes d4, threatening checkmate. They ignore it and take our knight. Wait, what? How could we? Oh, then okay. Right, then we okay. One more time. c3, we take. They take. We bring the knight up. They play c takes d4. Then what? Queen takes d4. King e2. The other bishop can become involved, the one on f8, but I don't see how it is effective. Okay, maybe better is actually knight b5. Knight b5 mate. So we're going to have c3, takes, there, takes. We still have d5. So yes, it looks like knight b5. Well, they can go king to c3. We don't have our c pawn anymore. But okay, but then no, that doesn't work. Boy, really struggling with this for some reason. Interesting. C takes, or c3. C takes d4. F takes. c3 takes, there, there. They could also actually go back to c2 with the king. Oh, and that's why it wasn't mate before. I thought it was mate, but they could have gone back to c2 because the c3 pawn is not there. Okay, so that's what I've been missing this whole time as far as that. c3, c takes, f takes, knight c6, c takes d4, knight b5, king c3, queen e3, king takes b5, queen takes d4. I think that is going to lead to me. Oh, okay. Now I see. They can't take on b5. The bishop is covering it. So this is what it is. So it's knight b5, king c3, queen e3. Yeah, and that's me. Okay. So we're going to go like this. Check. King to c3. Queen to e3. They went bishop d3. Bishop d3. I can take that. And that is mate. Wow. I really struggled with that one. Okay. Well, I got there. We're going to bump it up to 6. I think having an even is a little bit better for me. Okay. So it's black to play and win. We're going farther out. Let's see. Maybe we can see how far we can go. Queen b3, check. We are hitting their queen. It is hanging. So they block it with c3. Makes perfect sense. So we check on b1. They put the king in front of the rook on c4. So we're down on b1. They're on c4. Then we play bishop d6, cutting off a very valuable escape square. They play rook b3. Okay, so boom, 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 boom. And we go... I'm looking at like queen c2 check. Like it's mate if they can't block it, but it looks like they can block with either the rook or the queen. It does not look like that works. See, oh, okay. Maybe b5 actually is just mate. Let's look at this again. So we're there. Oh, we got a lot of text. All right. So it's there, 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 there. Check on b5. They can't move forward. They can only move to c3. And then if I play queen c1, they can move to d3. Which looks safe. What am I missing? b1, check. Go back to that square. And rook, queen c1 looks like it has to work, but they do move over. Okay, must be missing something. Let's try to really cement this position. Queen b3, rook c3 blocks. Queen goes back to b1. So the king steps forward to c4. The bishop comes down to b6 to cut everything off. The rook comes over to b3. Oh, attacking the queen also. That's something important to note. So b5, king has to go to only c3, the only valid square. No, I mean c4. Yeah, c3. The only valid square is c3. That rook is on b3, hitting my queen still. Ah, no. Bishop's on d6. Arg. Ugh. What is the answer? If I go to a1 with the queen, they can block on b2. I don't know. Maybe actually the answer is okay. Yeah, how about queen c2 first, then they block, and then does b5 win? So let's check this. So we're there. I go queen c2. They block with the rook. They've made an escape square on b3, but my queen is covering it. I play b5. It's mate. We go there with the queen. Yes, that works. Okay. So we're going to go here. They block with the queen, and then we come up here and win. Okay. Got there. Excellent. All right. Let's try another one. We're going to go back farther. We're going 8-ply back. I don't know if I can do 8-ply back. We'll see. These aren't that hard of puzzles, which is what makes it interesting. So it's like, you know, also it's easy puzzles with visualization. So knight d7. We are forking the rook and the queen. Seems good. Queen goes to b2. Okay. Wait. Yeah, okay. So the knight has moved, so the queen can go to b2. Our knight takes on f8. Our queen takes c1. Our rook takes c1. Our bishop takes our queen. I wasn't seeing that. Then we play knight d7, which I thought we already had played. Oh, we had taken the rook though. Then we come back to d7. They play rook a2. This is the same puzzle as before. It's just farther back. Okay. So the answer is rook c8, and then the knight is covering f8 for when the bishop comes back. Let's just double check that. So knight d7, queen moves down, our knight takes, their queen takes on c1, we take, they take our queen, we move to d7, they remove the defender of the back rank by going to a2. That bishop is on d5, not protecting the back rank. We check on c8. Yeah, the only thing they can do is block. Ooh, what does they block on d8? We take with the rook. Yeah, still made it. And if they block on f8, then we take because the knight is covering it. Okay, so it's very similar to the last one. Daniel, what's up, my friend? Just be clear, we are in c1. So we go here. They move bishop d8, and we will take. So I think this is the exact same tactic we had before. It was just a couple moves farther back. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so Daniel, we're doing some serious work here. We're going 8-ply back blindfold tactics. So we're trying to calculate up to the position that we're supposed to play from and then find the winning move. And the tactics aren't super hard. I'm not sure if you can make them harder or not. That would be interesting to know. It'd be kind of good if you could like level up some way, kind of like a lot of places in their puzzles. But I am liking this level of going if I'm going to go back this far. Okay, so let's go. What is happening here? Yeah, it's an interesting site. So we're going to play queen. So it's queen d3, a3. So we have moved our queen to a more menacing square. They're pushing the pawn. We play queen d7 with the check. They move their king to what looks like a safe square in h6. We go to f7, attacking their bishop. They take our pawn on c3. Not sure why we don't... Oh, it's check. That's why we don't take their bishop. We play king to h2. They get their bishop safe on g5. I'd like to play and win. Are we visualizing this correctly? So I've got my queen on f7. Yeah, my queen is on f7. I moved it over. I went 3 queen moves. Boom, boom, boom on f7. Their king is on h6. And our king is safely tucked away on h2, and they move their bishop to g5. And their queen is actually on c3. Okay. So what are we doing from here? We could go... Okay. So by putting their bishop on g5, they've actually really taken away a lot of squares for their king. So we can certainly go queen f8 and force their king to h5. Then we can play oh, we can't play g4. Our king is in the way. King, what are you doing, man? So maybe that's not as good. So there. Wait, is that pawn? The pawn is still there on e4. If it wasn't, we could swing the bishop down. We cannot swing the bishop down. Ooh, interesting. There. We could play queen f3 check, but then they just bring the king back to h6, and have we gained anything? And we can't actually come back to f3. Their queen is covering it from c3. So this one is challenging. It doesn't seem like it should be. I thought this one was very straightforward. And we have a better move with our queen on f7. Oh, no. I missed that. Our king is not blocking that pawn. Our king got chased back to h2. So we can go queen f8, check. Their bishop is blocking in their king. The king has to go to h5. Well, we play g4 check. They can go to h4 with the king. That's as deep as it can go. And then we play bishop. We can't play queen h6 mate because the bishop's on g5. Arg. Okay. So we've chased the king to h4, but that queen has moved and is no longer guarding f2. So we can bring the queen all the way back to f2 check, and that is mate. Okay, let's double check this off. Queen d3, a3, queen f7 check, king to h6, queen to f7. Their queen moves to c3. Our king has to move to h2. They put their bishop in a problematic spot. We play queen f8 check. They move the king to h5, only move. We play g4, only move king h4. We drop our queen back to f2 check. They can actually block it with their queen on g3, but we would take their queen and we win and get there. Whew, I think we got there. What's the problem? Oh no, the queen's here. I was like, what? Huh? Okay, queen there, king h5. Yes, then we check. King moves to h4. The queen comes back. The queen goes to g3. And we take the queen and we got it from front to back. Wow. That is a tough one. Oh, wow. Foxy and Daniel both got it. Good job. You got it faster than I did. I don't think we're going to go any farther back. Let's stay here for now. 8 ply is quite a bit. That's really stretching me. Well, maybe we'll do 1 at 10 just as an ultimate stretch. Okay. But I think this is exactly what I need, is to really work on hardcore visualizing the board, and having it end with a kind of easy tactic is pretty good. It's because it's really just that visualization I need. All right, so b6. Okay, we moved our pawn up. Bishop d5, attacking our rook. We castling long. So our king moves over to c8. Our rook is on d8, no longer in danger. They play a4. We bring the knight back to d4. They play a5. We slide our rook to h6. Not really threatening much. They play a takes b6. Right, I forgot I had to play to b6. Okay. So bottom line is, they have a pawn on b6. Our knight is on d4. Our rooks are on h6 and d8. That's the important piece. So, is there like a standard move here? I think there is. I think the move is a very standard knight to d2 check, driving the king into the corner. We sack with the rook on h6, taking h2. The king takes, but the king cannot come out any farther. It can't get to g3 or g1 because the knight is holding it back. Our other rook is not in the corner. It's on d8. It goes to h8, and that is mate. So I think we got it. So we go here to drive the king into the corner. We go check. What? Yes, okay, so it is correct. King takes h2, and then our rook is here and delivers the mate. Boom! No problem. This feels like it end with, yeah, exactly. You got it, Brian. Boxy, and Daniel also has solved it. You know what? We're going back. We're going back farther. We're going to 10. We're going to really push our luck here. All right. We got a lot of work to do now. Queen h8 check. So we're sacking the queen. No, we're not. We have a bishop backing it. So the king runs to f7. We check on f1. This is a really good one, actually, because this feels very realistic. Like, this is about where you would have to start calculating. Like, do I have the mate? So let's see. So we've got the queen in the corner, king to f7. Rook moves over to f1, checking the king. The king dances over to e7. The queen comes up to g7, hitting the king and the queen through the king. So the king goes to d6 to continue guarding the queen. Our queen is now being hit by their queen. So we play bishop e5, involving our other piece, trying to drive the king away from the queen's defense. The king goes to c6. We go rook f6. Can't they take with their rook? Okay, that's interesting. We'll have to look at that. They play bishop e6. So real quick, I have to figure out, do they make a mistake they're not taking? Playing with rook, so check, up, check, over, check, there, bishop check, there. So yes, they could have taken with the rook. They chose to block instead. And now it's our move. Our queen is on g7. King is on c6. We're attacking it from f6. And we have the bishop on e5. So it seems like... Oh, but they have the bishop on e6. Do we go queen takes queen? No, because the king is covering it. So the king could just take, breaking the pin. If I did rook takes e6, king takes e6, we have nothing. Okay, so we've got our queen is on g7. Our rook is on f6. Our bishop's on e5. Their king is on c6. Their queen is on, or their bishop is on e6. Their king is on c6. Is that correct? Yes. What do we do? Okay. I think if we take the rook, the bishop with the rook, and they take with the queen, I believe queen c7 is mate. Double sure. Yes, it's like an epaulette mate because of our pawn on c4. So I guess then the question becomes, oh yeah, they can't take with the king. The king's too buried. And if they try to run with the king, first of all, they're down a piece. Second of all, they would have to run in a way that doesn't guard the queen anymore, and we would take their queen. So we are going to go rook takes. They play queen takes, and we're going queen mate. Boom. No problem. All right. We got there. Or rook takes c6, king 7, rook e7, winning the queen. Okay. So, did you not solve it, Daniel? Or are you just saying that was another possibility? Okay, one more. This is definitely pushing me to my edges, which is perfect. Queen d3. Queen f6 is hitting our knight for the second time. Whoa, moving the king. That is fascinating. Why wouldn't we move the knight? So they, oh, it's backed up. Okay, true. They take our knight. We take back. Queen takes on f3. We play knight takes e4, removing the guard of the knight. The knight cannot move because it's mate. So they play queen takes h1 check. King moves to e2. And then they take on c1. Boy, that's a lot of material they took. And that knight is still there, so I don't have mate. I can take that knight, and that's great and all. But that's not mate. And we're down a million pieces of material. Can't they just play, like, g6? Oh, man. My phone is really blowing up here. Alright. Queen d3. Queen f6. King moves over. Bishop takes. G takes. Queen takes. Our knight takes on e4. Their queen takes. Our king moves up. They take the knight. They take our rook. So it's got to be something with our knight on d5. No? Oh, we took on e4, not d5. Ah, okay, I totally messed that up. Okay, so yes. So then we can go knight to f6 check. If they take, it's queen h7 mate. If they just move into the corner, then we mate them. Okay, so it's here to there. G takes, and our queen on d3 goes for mate in the corner. Bam. Yeah, Daniel's got it. No problem. What is happening with my phone? I just have to move it away from me. It's very annoying. That's why playing over the board is better. You don't have to have your phone on. I'm very... so tonight was my over the board night, and I've been having a lot of troubles, and I had a really long day at work, and so I was like, I think I'm going to wait till next week to go back. But I'm feeling great, and I'm like, ow, I should have played tonight. I have a lot of energy. Oh, well. All right, last one. Last one. King b2. C takes b2, b3 check. The king just moves back, shielded from the queen by its own pawn. They play d4, connecting those pawns and coming on down hard. We sack the rook on g7. They take. We move the rook over, check. They go to f8. Our queen goes up to f6, and they just ignore it and decide to go for their pawns. Okay, so we have a rook on g1 and a queen on f6. This should be an easy one. Yeah, in fact, isn't queen g7 just... No, it is not made. The e7 square would be available. Yeah, because the king's on f8. So what do we do? If we check on g8 with the rook, they have to take. That seems to lose. How are we using this bishop on d7? Ah. Maybe. Yes. Okay, maybe that works. So, queen d6 check. They can't go back to the g file. They can't go to e8. They can put the rook in between. And if they do that, then we go back to h6, and same problem, they took away their only escape square. So let's make sure this is right. So king b2, bishop check, king goes back, d4, we sack the rook, they take, we check, the king goes to f8, our queen comes in. Yeah, so everything is essentially in the same spot. So we move over, check, only move is block, and then we swing back. Okay, so we are going to go here, check, the rook goes to e7, and we swing back around, and we mate them. Whew. Good visualization practice, which I could use more of. Yeah, me too. This is great. I will be doing this a lot over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to look into, is there a way to make the puzzles harder? Because I don't know. I like this level, but as I get more comfortable, I think these puzzles might be a touch too easy. I'm not saying I want them to be way harder, but maybe a little bit. I don't know, depending on how sharp I am. I'm feeling pretty sharp now, so maybe that's why I'm saying this. Maybe if I was feeling less sharp, I would be like, oh, this is plenty. This is plenty. Okay, so let's see. What time is it? Yeah, we have time to go through a Fischer game. Why not? Why not? Okay, so Foxy was saying he wanted to see a Sozin attack game. Foxy, are you still here? So I know if we should do the Sozin game now. It might be too late for you. I don't know. Sozin Eco. What is the Eco code? The Sozin is... what? Okay, let me try that again. It says... The Najdorf variations still is covered under Eco codes B90 to P99. Sozin attack is a specific line, reaching the same position. 86 to 89. Okay. Let's see, is there an 86 to 89 one here? No, there's not, because I specifically sorted it to be 90 to 99. That is unfortunate. Let me try this. Oh, it's not a good site to decide this. I don't know. I'm having kind of a hard time figuring out. Okay, maybe this will do it. Maybe this site's going to be very clear for me. No. Yes, it's 86 to 87 is the Fischer Sozin variation. It says Fischer Sozin system. I don't quite know what that means. Even if it's 10 ply, some of the moves are meaningless, so I don't have to keep much 10. Yeah, I agree, Daniel. What I'm trying to do is keep them all in my head anyway, But yes, I found a couple times I was like, actually, whether that pawn is on d4 or d3 doesn't really matter. More what I kept in head was the story that, like, they just decided to push the pawns and disregard things. Okay, let's look at... Here's a game against Paul Karras. Well, it's really long. We aren't probably going to do that one. I think we looked at this one. I don't think we looked at this one. Let's see, is 97 the poison pawn, though? Yeah, it is. We're not doing 97. I think I want to see 92 if possible. Here's a... Oh, it's a blitz game? I don't really want to see a blitz game. Oh, here's an interesting one. A junior game. When he was a junior, he played this guy, Bredoff. Let's look at that one. That might be interesting to see. How did he play as a junior? Hopefully we haven't seen this one already. It's entirely possible. There's not as many as I thought there would be. Okay. Alright. This is a Sicilian, so we're going to assume we're going to see a Sicilian. Alright, that's how this is going to work. So we'll play c5. And we'll do this. We'll take... And we'll threaten the pawn, and they guard it. And then we'll play a6, and we'll say we're in a Najdorf. Okay. So, bishop e2. Hopefully by now, we all know, against bishop e2, we're going to play e5. We're going to chase the knight away. Ooh, the knight's going this way. Okay, this will be good for me. I don't really know the games where they go that way. The knight usually goes back to b3. I'm going to assume I'm still going to copy them and bring my bishop to e7 first. Okay, this is weird. They're sort of combining systems that often doesn't work very well. What a great idea, Daniel. We should definitely look at some MBL games. Yeah, get kind of a modern take on this. I think that's what we'll do maybe next. Do we want to play h6? I don't think so. The moves, I think the move... Now I'm combining variations. I was like, ooh, maybe I want to go Queen c7, so they can't develop the bishop to c4, but they've already developed the bishop. I don't think they want to do that a second time. I think I might put the bishop on e6. The reasons not to do it before, remember, were the quick f4, g4. They can't play f4. And they also can't go knight g5 to harass it. So it seems like a very reasonable move. Computer says that my move was theory, but it's not what he did. Instead, he backed it up with the knight, which I don't love, because now it's really hard to get the knight out. I'm assuming we're going to play h6, and then if they take, that's fine. We put the bishop there, the knight there. If they run away, I guess the problem was then they can follow up with knight f5. Are we taking there with the bishop? I don't know. I think h6 is right here, though, to make them make the decision. Okay, so they run back. No, I'm not sure, because we have this knight in this awkward spot. I can't put my bishop where I want. Their knight is now going into f5. I don't really love where we're at here. There's a lot of moves I could do. I feel like short castle is reasonable. Queen d7 is not unreasonable. Knight b6 is fine. b5 is fine. I don't like g5. I think g5 just entices them to do what they want and weakens my structure quite a bit. Ooh, I didn't... Yeah, I mean, I guess I can answer knight f5 by castling. I think I'm just going to castle now, though. Okay, that is not a good move. Please try again. Okay, not a good move. Knight b8. Oh my goodness. I want to try b5 to develop the bishop. Also a mistake. Yeah, so it's basically, this knight is coming in here, you fool. Handle it. And I'm like, I know, I just don't know how to handle it. Am I really just playing g6 to keep the knight out? Probably not. So I think what I'm going to do is go knight b6. No, actually, I think knight c5 is fine. If they take, I'll take with the pawn, and I think that's okay. So So we're going to go here. Okay, so my move is fine. It's not the best move. Knight b6 was the best move. Okay, and then they move back because if they come into f5, I'm taking... I guess that's better for me. All right, well, now we can go bishop e6, and I think we should do that. Okay, they're going to castle. I don't see why we don't castle here. Engine says that's fine, but they decided to go knight c4 since it was being backed up, and we can take, and we've won the bishop pair, which is certainly something. This rook move does not look good to me. Like, what's the point of it? Oh, sorry, never mind. We're hitting their rook. Never mind, scratch that. Good move. Do we castle? Yeah, we castle. They threaten our bishop, and there's really only one reasonable place to go, right? E6. My plan is like bishop e6, rook c8, push the pawn, stuff like that. Okay, and now they're playing f4. But f4 doesn't look super scary now. I feel like we can take it with the pawn. They take with the bishop. Oh, we also have the clever move bishop g4 to get out of that pawn disaster if they push. We're hitting the queen, so we're doing it with tempo. It does kind of look like the bishop might get stuck. After like f5, h3. So I don't know that I love taking. Normally when I take, I want to be able to put the knight on e5, but we've already exchanged that knight. I'm not sure I see something better, though. I feel pretty compelled to take here. Okay, so they take back. We have bishop pair, open lines, help us, and rook moved away from the f file. Yeah, I think those are all great points. I was focusing a little bit, probably too much on this d pawn being weak, and like I said, not having the pattern of moving knight to e5. But I think that should be fine. I'm looking at e5, but we can just take, and that's okay. So I think I'm going to move the knight to c8. Just looks like a reasonable move. Let's get our rook into the game. I think I said knight, I meant rook. Okay, went check first with the queen, a nice intermezzo. Setting up the taking of b2 if we want it. If they play rook to b2 to capture b7, well, then their knight hangs. And if they move the knight somewhere, say a4, just move the queen to like a3. I think we take. It feels like a poison pawn where we have no chance to get trapped. Okay, so that was the engine's best move. They've decided to... Oh, this is interesting. I didn't see how this was going to work out. If we take, they take, well, then our bishop's actually in danger. Interesting. And right now our bishop is being hit. So takes. Bishop goes to like d8. Then the pawn falls on d6. So we haven't actually won a pawn. I think we've traded a pawn we wanted for a pawn we didn't really care about. So maybe this has all gone sideways. I mean, I guess... No, I was going to say I could back it up with a rook, but the pawn on d6 still falls. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a way to save everything. What if I take with the knight? Pawn takes. Can the bishop move somewhere menacing? Yes-ish. It can move to f5, but then our bishop drops, and that is not good enough. So we need to take with the bishop so we can move the bishop. Then we're going to lose the pawn. I just noticed we could take with the knight and be backing up the bishop. Can they chase the knight? So they play c4 to chase the knight away. And we take their bishop. So this actually looks like it works. Okay. We put a second attacker on that. We play queen f6, backing it up yet again, backing up the bishop yet again. And our knight is hanging. Son of a... That's too bad. So queen b5 backs up the knight, attacks their knight. They take the pawn with the knight. We take with the bishop, they take with the bishop. We're going to lose our pawn, but I think this is what we have to do. Okay, we're going to take with the bishop. Interesting. We're not going to take with the bishop. Okay. We're getting our... They're double attacking us, but I guess it's not serious enough. I suppose we could go queen c6. Okay. Now they're attacking the bishop multiple times. I'm looking at bishop f6, hitting their rook. Or taking... Ooh, taking their bishop, threatening mate seems very strong. I think that wins. Oh, but it doesn't. Oh, wow. The tactics and then the counter tactics. So knight takes f4, threatening mate, looks devastating, and then they play knight takes e7, forking with check. Okay, interesting. So maybe queen or bishop f6 first is good. Okay. We put the bishop in the way, so if we take rook e5, then knight f4 threatening mate, they can guard it several ways. I still think we take here. Wow, that's 2.3 pawns bad. That's interesting. What do we do? Could play knight c3, which hits their queen, but I don't really know what it does. Another move I'm looking at is rook d8. It's just, you know, good place for the rook, threatening the queen through the knight. Looks reasonable. I think there's something much better here. Oh, okay. So my move is okay. Queen comes in, basically threatening mate because bishop takes. Oh no, queen takes. It's not mate. What do we do? What about bishop takes, rook takes, queen f6 hitting both rooks? I guess they move the rook back to e1 to defend it. And I have nothing. Wait, what about... No, it doesn't work. I was looking at bishop takes e5, rook takes e5, knight f6 hitting the queen, and then the queen goes queen g7 mate. So that seems like a bad idea. Yeah, bishop takes e5 just seems to lure their rook into the game. Maybe we could just play rook e6. Sorry, rook e8, make them do something. Oh, Interesting. So they have that check. That is true. There's not much I can do about that. Okay, I'm just gonna take here. They take back. What are we? Are we up a pawn here? So do we just go like Queen G6 and try to trade down to a slightly better ending? Okay, actually take on C2 with the queen. They are threatening mate though. Alright, I'm gonna stop it by doing this. It's a huge mistake. They just attack the knight a second time. Okay, so I played this very poorly, it looks like. G6 kicks the knight. Interestingly, rook takes d6 followed by knight e7 wins the queen. So that is a little worrisome. Looking at queen f6, I don't think that works either. I don't know. What about rook d6 to go to g6, but then rook takes d5. Seems like it still loses to knight e7. That knight is very annoying. Yeah, I can't quite calculate this one. I am going to go here. Okay. Seems like a reasonable move. Queen f6 maybe. Yep. So Daniel's got the same idea. I mean, white looks like they're doing really well. Look, they've got every piece just gunning down on my king. And somehow Fischer is going to win this. Okay. I feel like we need to be looking for tactics here. I just don't see them. Queen takes rook. Okay, so we're very close to a back row mate. That is something we need to be thinking about. Problem is the queen is covering d1. So queen takes rook. Rook takes rook. Move the knight out of the way. How about knight? No, knight f6 does not work. We're still staring down mate on g7. Oh, those mates that keep on coming. I think we want to move the knight. Move the knight to c3. Just get it out of the way. I don't really know what that does. Knight e7 does not work. Not many knight moves work. Taking the rook. Taking the knight. Nothing that works. g6 doesn't work. What in the heck are we supposed to do? I don't have an answer. I'm going to move my rook here to stop rook e7. And that is game, apparently. They take, I take. It does not look like game to me. I don't know. Let's see. Does Daniel have any ideas? Maybe king h7 or king 8. Okay, let's try king h7. My move is okay. Instead, they move the knight. He moved the knight backwards. Okay, now they're tripled up. Scary. Again, I just don't think I know. In fact, it looks like knight I guess knight e7 isn't quite as brutal. It doesn't fork anything. Okay, we do have this mate on d1. So can we do that somehow? Like, queen takes rook, queen takes queen, and no is the answer. The answer is no. I don't know. I don't have an answer here. We're gonna look at the hint. The hint is pay attention to Queen E4 takes B7. Okay. Interesting. Knight E6. Knight E6. I mean, that seems fine. We can do that. Okay. And then you take it. Okay, I don't know why I was paying so much attention to that. Ah. Now we win. Now this idea I was talking about works. We take the rook. Rook takes back row mate. So they lose a rook. And that's it. Okay. There we go. So, quite interesting. I was able to identify pretty early on that it seemed like maybe we could find a way to back row mate. That's what Jan Marcos would call storing ideas in the freezer. The freezer dethaws, and there it is, staring us in the face. It was kind of a weird game, though. It's a pretty short one, so we'll go over it real quick. We're just in a Najdorf. Okay, this move... I'm going to open the book, opening this book just to make sure that I'm playing it right. So that is the right move. Good. And the number one move here is actually Bishop G5. I thought it was a weird move. Okay, so good. I thought this was the move, and this is the book move. And then they go here, and castles, and castles, and then we're just kind of playing chess from here. They can come in here. I suspect we can take. Looks like most people go here, so that if they were to take, we would just take back. And this is a very normal position. So that's, I'm happy that my intuition led me in the right direction. Fischer played something unusual. How unusual was it? Not that unusual. Second most common move. And then his opponent played something very unusual, which looked kind of good to me, actually. Okay, so let's go back to notation. We should probably turn on the engine at this point to see, especially since that move was kind of weird. What was the last one? This one? Alright, so now we can turn the engine on. And what does the engine say about this move? The engine says it's totally fine. Is it weird? Sure. Engine likes G6 here. I sort of thought about that to protect F5, but I didn't like it very much. He played H6, kicking... Actually, no, here is where more I was thinking about G6. Okay. And my move was to play knight C5, and that's the engine's top move. He played knight B6, which I think is fine. And then this seems very strange. Why are we moving the knight back? I thought the whole point was to bring the knight into here, and the engine says no. That this is a good trade for black, not a good plan. Okay, so that's why he went back. All right, and then now we make some sort of normal moves for a few moves. Things are basically equal, and now we have what looks to be a very normal looking position. And then our opponent tries to blow things open with F4, which looks kind of ill-timed. And the engine thinks that black is indeed doing very well. Picks up the free pawn. That's like the easiest poison pawn version ever. And then this was the only tricky part. And we found the way to back it up and to hold it together. And then some trades happen. And then suddenly, our opponent has some attack going, and we have to fend it off. And the engine says we're still doing well. We're just kind of holding everything together. But now, to me, it doesn't feel like we're winning. Like, this move especially feels just kind of like, okay, and it's fine. This move is fine. It's basically an equal game. And then this is the critical error, right? So I feel like this happens a lot in my games especially. I don't know if yours are like this, but it's like, it's a very even game, right? It's like, it's kind of a positional game. It looks like there's an attack, but you stymied it. Everything's fine, and this move doesn't look that bad. And if you haven't stored the idea in the freezer that this back row is weak, I did not mean to do that. That the back row is weak, then you might miss the fact that you can do this, because if they do that, then the back row is made. So, very interesting game. In a real game, that knight takes d5 needs to be calculated thoroughly, since lots of things are loose. Okay, let's go back to that. Knight takes d5. Right there. Okay, so we're saying here, yes. Yeah, I agree. The knight takes d5 has to be calculated very carefully. You have to calculate that you can come back and properly defend everything, knowing that there's going to be an attack, a discovered attack on it. I think you have to find the queen. I think queen b5 might be an only move. So remember, I did something different. I went like, oh yeah, I went here to back up the pawn, hanging the knight. So we can't do that. Yeah, the engine likes queen b5. I can't tell if it's an only move. I'm only getting 2 lines and they're the same line. So, but this certainly works. And you're right. If you don't calculate that, then that's going to be a problem. Knight c4 then hits the queen, and king and bishop is also under attack. Yes, exactly. A lot of stuff brewing. And then, I don't know, while this might not feel problematic, like, I think in a game I'd be real worried. If I got to here, I might be like, okay, I think I'm good, but I have to survive this. And if I can't survive this, I lose. Like here, I mean, white has everything in, and black is just kind of trying to hold it together. This I feel like is a hard position for a human. I don't know if Fischer thought this was a hard position or not. Lone says, did you have any problems while activating Chessbase? I did not. I purchased Chessbase. I put in the code that they sent me. I downloaded, I think, first, then put in the code, and everything was smooth. Kevin, look at why queen g6 would have been a blunder. You ended up choosing queen f6 instead. Why is queen g6 a blunder? Queen g6. What is the reason? Engine says the reason is queen d4. So hitting this a second time. Okay. And then if we go here to block... oh, not there. I guess we'd have to go here. Wait. Actually, can we just move the knight? That looks reasonable to me. Moving this knight. Hitting the queen. What does the engine say? The engine says, oh, the engine comes back to the problem, right? This is the other problem we put in the freezer, that there's all these. Okay, so that's the problem. Is that queen g6 is getting on the forking square. And this guy's under attack, so they can come over and attack it again. If we come over here to defend it, then they can go here. Whoops. Attack it again. And if we move it, they're trading a queen for both rooks. So, yeah, I guess we don't want to do that. It's funny because I don't actually like trading my queen for both rooks all that much. Oh, sorry. That's right. As soon as we move, we just lose. I keep forgetting about this knight e7. Okay, what was your suggestion? Look at yg6. You ended up choosing, I think just trade queens and rook takes d5. Let's see. Okay, so if we go here, trade queens. When you say rook takes d5, so sacking the exchange. Oh, and then that. It's not sacking the exchange. That seems to win. Let's see, did black have a better move in there? So let's see. So after queen takes queen, what can black do? Takes. Computer says this is winning. Here. Why is this winning? Take with the pawn, maybe? Yeah, so take with the pawn, actually. And we retain our pawn advantage. Their pawns are messy. It's hard to believe that this is a 1.5 advantage for black. I feel like this would be hard fought pawn endgame. Like, let's say they just immediately went to a rook pawn endgame. It feels challenging, but maybe not. Maybe we just go here and we just eat their pawns. They go here. We go here. They take here. We take here. And now we have 2 pawns. One is the passer and one is a 3-on-2. So I guess that's how that's going to work. It doesn't seem that unreasonable. Like, it feels like something maybe you could hold as white. But yeah, it looks tough. All right. Well, that is going to do it for today. So we got some good blindfold puzzles in. We got to look at yet another Fischer Sicilian game. And yeah, thanks for coming by, everybody. Thanks for joining me for what I feel like was a pretty good, solid practice session. So I'll see you later, everybody.